Okay fellas, this is the second video for Algebra 1 Semester 2. Today we are going to solve some questions of the assignment probability of multiple events. So we're going to solve some questions, then you're going to go on your computers and do the quiz. Again, if you don't have any online services at home, please come here, grab the book, and you can solve these assignments on the book. So let's begin. Let's begin with the first question. I will solve some examples, not all of them of course, so I can give you some to solve by yourself, then you can go and do the quiz. Make sure that you copy notes, you bring it in here so I can check your note. Maybe you get extra points for working hard. So in case you don't do well in the quiz, I can give you extra points. So please make sure that you show me your work. You can come Tuesdays or Fridays to bring your work, and you can tell them that you want to give this for Mr. A, and they'll put it on my desk. So my first question is that if Q and R are not mutually exclusive events, okay? Again, what is mutually exclusive and not mutually exclusive? For example, if we have two events and there is nothing in common between them, it means that they are mutually exclusive. But if there's something in common between these two events, then they are not mutually exclusive. So here, if the probability of Q is 0.12 and the probability of R is 0.25, and the probability of Q and R is 0.03, find the probability of Q or R. We learned that if we have OR, we need to add the probabilities. So let's begin. So we have the probability of Q, which is 0.12, okay? Or the probability of R, which is 0.25, so we add the 0.25 because he wants OR, Q or R. And because we have something in common, I don't want to count also the common ones, so I subtract minus 0.03. And here we will get the answer. So if you look at it, we have the 12 and the 25, which is together how much? 37. 37 minus 0.04, it's going to be 34. And this will be the answer, the first one. Got it? So remember, if it's OR, you add them, and if there's something in common, you cancel what's in common between them. Now let's go to the next one. The next question, guys, this subject is easy, just focus and learn and understand. Math is all about understanding. Q and R are independent events. Q and R independent, which means this doesn't affect R or R doesn't affect Q. If the probability of Q is 1/4 and the probability of R is 1/5, find Q and R. So we need to find 1 and 2. So all we need to do, because we have and, we need to multiply the probabilities. So it's going to be 1/4 times 1/5. It's going to be 1/20. So the answer will be the second one. So again, guys, as you can see, there's nothing in common because they said that these events are independent. And he wants what's the probability that I'm going for event A and event B to happen. So I multiply both events. Now let's go to question 3. Question 3. Also, guys, I hope you can see the question. A standard number cube is tossed. Find the probability of the even numbers or the prime numbers. So the standard number cube, which numbers are on the cube? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So the numbers are, now which numbers does he want? He wants the even numbers and he wants the prime numbers. So the even numbers are 2, 4, and 6. These are my even numbers. And my prime numbers are the numbers that only divide by themselves or by 1. So these numbers are 3 and 5. 1 is not a prime number. Just remember that 1 is not a prime number. So now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 over how many possibilities? 6 possibilities. And the answer will be the second one. Remember these things. Now, the same thing here, guys. Let's solve it too. We got nothing to lose. We have a standard number cube is tossed. Find the probability of 3 or odd. So the same thing. What are the numbers on a standard number cube? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So how many possibilities in total? 6 possibilities in total. So he wants only the numbers 3 or odd. So we have 3, that's 1, and the odd numbers. 1, the 3 we already chosen, and the 5. So we have 3 numbers. So if you simplify, you divide by 2 both numbers, it's going to be 1/2. And the answer is also the second one. That's for 1/2. I hope you'll be able to see this word problem. I'll make it as big as I can. I'll explain so you don't have to see what's the problem. I'll explain it. Okay. So we have 2 urns contain white balls and yellow balls. The first urn contains, so let's say this is an urn. It contains 3 white balls and 6 yellow balls. So we have 3 white and 6 yellow. And the second urn, we have another urn, okay, that contains 7 white balls and 3 yellow. So 7 white and 3 yellow. A ball is drawn at random from each urn. So we're going to take a ball from each urn randomly. What is the probability that both balls are white? So what's the probability that we're going to draw from the first urn a white ball and from the second urn also a white ball? So how do we do that? We go to the first urn. How many possibilities in total do I have? 3 plus 6 is 9. We have 9 balls in total. And how many white balls do I have? I have 3. So that's the probability for me getting a white ball from the first urn. Now let's look at the second one. How many possibilities do I have? I have 10. And how many white balls I have? I have 7. Now he wants to draw from the first one a white ball and from the second one. So from both of them he wants white, which is and. So because it's and, we multiply the probabilities. So 3 times 7 is 21. And 9 times 10 is 90. We can simplify this fraction by dividing both sides, by dividing the numerator and the denominator by 3. So it's going to be 7 divided by 30. So the answer would be the third one. Got it? Hopefully you got it. Guys, remember, if you have any questions, you can email me and you can call the school. If you don't know my email, you can go to the website, to the school's website, and check my email. If you have any questions, any troubles, please make sure that you contact. It's going to be fun. We're going to do it. So the same thing here. In this case, we have a box. So we have one box. A box contains 20 red marbles. So we have 20 red and 30 blue. Okay? A second box, we have another box. Okay? Another box that we have 10 white marbles. So we have 10 white and 40 black. So, and 40 black marbles. If you choose one marble from each box without looking, what is the probability that you get a blue marble and a black marble? So you're going to choose again randomly. You're going to take from the first one a black and from the other one a blue one. So let's look at the first one. How many balls do we have in total? We have 50 balls. And how many blue? We have 30. Now, of course, it would be better for us to simplify these big numbers. Of course, the 0 cancels out with the 0, so I'm left with the 3/5. That's the probability of taking a blue ball from the first box. Now, the second box, how many balls do we have in total? We have 50 balls. And what does he want? He wants a black marble. So, a black marble means 40. And let's simplify this one too. The 0 cancels out with the 0, so I'm left with 4/5. Now he wants and. Remember, if we have and, it means that we need to multiply the probabilities. So the first probability is 3/5. The second probability is 4/5. So 3 times 4 is 12. 5 times 5 is 25. So the answer would be, in this case, is the third option. Or the third choice. So that's for this one. Guys, this one we solved this one. I'll just explain it. A standard number cube is tossed. We say we have 6 numbers in total. He wants the probability that less than 3 are odd. So how many numbers do we have? Less than 3, we have the 2 and the 1. And odd, we have the 1, the 3, which is we solved it, and the 5, and that is it. So you solve it and you'll get the answer. I'm not going to say what is the answer. And this one we also solved again. In this case, he wants the probability of Q and R. All you need to do is multiply the probabilities, because we said if we have and, we multiply, and if we have or, we add the probabilities. This question, we can solve this one. This will be the last question we're going to solve. Choose the pair of events that is mutually exclusive. Now we said, I repeat, I remind you, mutually exclusive, it means that there is nothing in common between the two events. So let's begin. We have even integers greater than 50 and multiples of 10 less than 100. Of course, let's take, for example, even integers greater than 50. Let's say 60. Okay? 60 is an even integer that is greater than 50. Now, multiples of 10 that is less than 100. Also 60. So as you can see, 60 is a multiple of a 10. And the 60 is also an even integer that is greater than 50. So there is something in common, which means they're not mutually exclusive. So we need two events that nothing in common. Let's go to the second one. Even integers greater than 50 and multiples of 3 less than 100. So of course, guys, it's the same thing. We have the 60 here and the 60. 60 is greater than 50 and it's even. And also 60 is a multiple of 3 that is less than 100. So also there's a number that's in common, which means they're not mutually exclusive. The third one, even numbers greater than 50 and prime numbers greater than 50. So even numbers greater than 50, like even numbers, we can get all of them. 52, 54, 56, 58, etc. Okay? And prime numbers greater than 50. Prime numbers greater than 50, which means they're going to be, for example, 53. Okay? 53, it's a prime number, just to make sure, yes. And etc. What is a prime number? It's all the numbers that only divide by itself or by 1. If it's an even, it always divides by 2. It doesn't matter. So it means all the even numbers are not a prime number. So there's nothing in common. So that's why we say that this will be the answer. Both events are mutually exclusive. If you want to see it, we can have two circles, a diagram, a Venn diagram. Okay, in this case, it's going to be all the even numbers. And in this case, it's going to be prime numbers. The only number that's even and the prime. Well, I wish you were here so I can ask so you can see. The only even number that all is even and prime at the same time, it's the number 2. So the diagram should be, there's something in common between them, which is only the number 2. The other numbers, they're not in common. That is it. So guys, please go to the assignment, do it. Again, if you have any questions, don't forget to reach out to the school. The whole staff members are here for you. Remember, you can pass all your classes. If you need any help, any kind of help, make sure that you reach out, and good luck. Bye.